Pakistan's biggest success is quietly becoming its greatest threat. Let me tell you how. You see, there is a stretch of land often discussed in fragments: Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Xinjiang, China. But taken together, it forms one of the most strategically consequential corridors in the world, not just because of what it is today, but because of what it holds for the power dynamics of the future. On one end, you have Western China, industrial, capable, capital-rich, and seeking outward routes. On the other, the Arabian Sea. Think of energy flows, trade arteries, and maritime access. And in between, Pakistan and Afghanistan. Two states with very different realities, but deeply intertwined strategic roles. The old great game was about empires competing over territory. Today, the logic has changed. This is no longer about land. It is about influence, access, and control over strategic direction. Over the past decade, China has embedded itself deeply inside Pakistan through CPEC, or the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is a 3,000 kilometer project valued at about $60 to $65 billion that China has built. Energy systems, transportation corridors, industrial infrastructure. This is not just some surface engagement, it is deep structural presence. And much of it is debt financed, both sovereign and commercial. Chinese policy banks have provided loans that Pakistan has already rolled over repeatedly, which means this is not just investment, it is long-term leverage. But the phase is now changing. China is no longer just building in Pakistan. It must now protect what it has built from instability, from insurgency, and from political risk. For example, in late January and early February 2026, the Balochistan Liberation Army launched coordinated attacks across 9 districts, targeting security posts, markets, and even a high-security prison, killing dozens and drawing sharp condemnation from China. Once a power must defend its position, it becomes invested not just in assets, but in outcomes. Now, shift your gaze slightly northwest to Afghanistan, often described as resource-rich. Lithium deposits potentially worth trillions in today's EV market, plus copper, iron, gold, rare earths, and untapped minerals. But resources are not a strategy until they are extracted. And extraction requires 3 things: security, governance, and time, none of which are fully present in Afghanistan. Chinese talks on mining contracts for lithium processing plants and various minerals remain slow, on occasion stalled by Taliban caution. So Afghanistan sits in a different category, not an active corridor, but a strategic option, a future expansion of CPEC, if and only if stability emerges. So here's the key distinction. Pakistan is where China is already operating, but Afghanistan is where China is now waiting. And taken together, China, Afghanistan, Pakistan form the most strategically consequential corridors in the world. This is where the United States re-enters, not as a builder, but as a balancer. Because Pakistan is no longer an open space. It is already shaped by a rival power. And now it is being reconsidered. The US wants private sector involvement for critical minerals development and trade expansion. And then there is a third force as well, India. India's opposition to CPEC is not symbolic. It challenges the very corridor itself, especially where it intersects the Pakistan-occupied Indian territory. CPEC, passing through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Pakistan-occupied Ladakh in India, is repeatedly labeled by New Delhi as infringing on India's territorial integrity. India has clearly called the 1963 China-Pakistan boundary agreement illegal and invalid, reaffirming that the area is Indian sovereign territory and warning against any attempts to alter facts on the ground. But the deeper conflict is structural. For Pakistan, China represents embedded economic dependence. The United States represents external strategic balancing, and India represents persistent geopolitical pressure. This creates a narrowing corridor of choice. Any move towards one side creates pressure from another. And this is not unique. It follows a broader pattern. External powers embed influence, economic, military, and political. The state's internal capacity lags behind its strategic importance, and over time, its choices begin to narrow. This is exactly what is happening with Pakistan. This is not the great game of the past. This is something more constrained. I would call it a narrowing game, where influence is embedded, pressure is constant, and the real contest is over how many decision choices really remain. So where does Pakistan fit? Well, Pakistan does not fit a single historical model here. Like Afghanistan, its geography makes it unavoidable. Like Ukraine, it risks becoming a space where external competition hardens into alignment pressures. Like Finland during the Cold War, Pakistan must now learn to navigate without provoking escalation. But unlike more institutionally stable states such as Turkey, Pakistan faces internal challenges, debt burdens, and security threats in Balochistan. Pakistan lacks internal strength to fully convert pressure into autonomy. So here's the clarity I want everyone to have. There's a new reality, and that is uncomfortable for Pakistan. Pakistan is not just balancing between powers. It is absorbing pressures it does not fully control. And that distinction matters, because states that balance can shape outcomes, but states that absorb pressure are shaped by them. Pakistan today is no longer a neutral arena. It is already structured by the Chinese influence. And in that shift, Pakistan begins to resemble Afghanistan, not in collapse, but in becoming a focal point of competing powers. The real question is not whether Pakistan will face pressure. It already does. At some point, external pressure stops shaping options and just starts shaping straight outcomes. The real question instead is whether Pakistan is approaching that threshold. Has it already become the new playground of competing powers? I think it has. I'm sure, just like me, you have friends who hate politics but still love the headlines behind the headlines. Share this dispatch with them and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.